Issues have come up here this morning as Imani and its partners today discuss issues surrounding the StarTimes deal, much more also other issues concerning how our budget is implemented. When we mention things that we're going to handle, the funds actually, how it is handled. Indeed, today we've had several people speaking on several issues, and as we speak right now, behind me, the Nungru Pram MP, Cudjoe, just outlining some of the difficulties that he believes is associated with some of these deals that he believes have some shady elements in there. But with me right now is the president of Imani to join me to speak to some of the issues that concerns that he's raised early on and some of the issues that he's been talking about, and today we'll be speaking on. Many thanks for joining us, Franklin Cudjoe. Together, you and your partners put together this program today to highlight or advocate or sensitize the Ghanaian about how government funds or taxpayers' money really go down the drain. And I mean, right from Kelly GVG, you've mentioned several issues, and now StarTimes has come up strong in your discussions. Can you highlight to our viewers, as you're live on TV, major concerns that you've had with the deal that Esla Owusu-Akofo, the Minister for Communications, is launching now?
Well, good morning to your viewers. So let me just say that that's not really personal. I mean, we are just concerned that we have come from a scenario or a previous regime where the issues about value for money on contracts were questions that people raised and sent some party into opposition. In fact, the Vice President, as we speak currently, recently launched a program on value for money. But it seems to me the things we keep hearing, at least the contracts, the fight over procurement issues, doesn't seem to be in tandem with what the Vice President has actually promoted. Otherwise, it beats my imagination why Kelly GVG and now StarTimes would actually be entertained in the manner in which they have been entertained. I think they failed the basic value for money test. But as you realize, there's not been even a word from the Vice Presidency office regarding these very, very humongous projects. I mean, in the case of StarTimes, all people are saying, stakeholders, and if you've heard them today, essentially saying is that, look, there's been a process where indigenous Ghanaian infrastructure engineers have done a whole lot of work on the process already, on DTT. So to have woken up and then realize that the DTT platform is now being remortgaged because KNET had previously built a similar enterprise, to have now been woken up to be told that StarTimes, which previously lost the deal because they couldn't come up with a financial plan, is being given the opportunity to rebuild something that already exists for the same amount that already KNET had been paid for. Can only be duplicatory and a waste of money. So for me, where I sit in all of this conversation is not just even the issues about local content, but the duplication of a project and the fact that we are likely to waste money. And actually, to the extent that the StarTimes deal speaks volumes about sidelining processes of value for money, procurement, should I say, considerations, because as we speak, we haven't seen the contract document. All we've heard about is a glorified MOU, which is the standard practice of any Chinese entity anyway. So we haven't seen any technical evaluations as to why you need a StarTimes to come and take over something that had already been built anyway. That beats my mind, and I think this is why we are having the conversation today.
It's quite interesting. And now for our viewers out there, Franklin Cudjoe has been highlighting some of the issues that he deems confusing, and you know, like he's rightly mentioned, the Vice President has gone ahead to launch an initiative on value for money. But Franklin, for people in government who have interacted with us, they believe that, look, this man is just being mischievous. In fact, the communications minister has gone ahead to say, look, we're not handing over the digital terrestrial transmission system to the Chinese people. We're not giving it to them. We're not giving the platform to them. They are just coming to control a part of it. What are the facts that you have that you feel that, look, we are overdoing this? I'm sure you've heard them say, look, the man is just being mischievous.
Well, if mischief was my middle name, I'll gladly receive it. Fact of the matter really is that, look, as we speak, the ministry is launching a Chinese-aided program, right? 300 villages supposed to be enjoying some settler. That is a penetration market strategy for the Star Times people. By the way, did you know Star Times was the actual entity that covered the Kofi Annan funeral using GBC equipment? They've been embedded in our system even for far so long. And but there's no formal appreciation of the fact that they've actually been brought in through the back door. Could you believe that Star Times, I don't know what they were launching on the premises of GBC, but they were all over dancing, dressed like Ghanaians, dressed like Chinese people, and they are paraphernalia of Star Times all over the place, a national asset. If the current ministry wants to tell us that they've actually mortgaged GBC to the Star Times people, let us know. Because we have gotten information that, look, even when they decided to premiere the league, our local league, at a point they decided to pick and choose the ones they will premiere, and then the rest will have to go through the digibus and be paid for. So why are we having issues around? There's a lot of suspicion. And unfortunately, the ministry is supposed to clear all of this for us. I have to say, though, that we invited them, but they said because they are launching the Chinese-aided project, they can't be here. All of them can't be here. But we are fine.
Did they have some representatives here? I mean,
The entire ministry is at Dansoma right now, launching Chinese-aided satellite projects. I mean, that's their strategy. I can understand that. But I think questions ought to be answered. The ministry has not been able to answer the basic questions about value for money, whether technical evaluations have been done. And as we all know, Star Times have lost severally, I think on 3 occasions, local and international arbitration case, challenging the Ghanaian decision not to award them the contract. And they've lost all of them. If it is the case that the current ministry and the current government are saying that Star Times was done in by the international, what's it called? The International Chamber of Commerce, I think they have a court like that, which Star Times themselves took the matter to, then it beats everybody's imagination, really. Are we suggesting that the judges, local and international, were wrong? But that's how it's playing out internationally right now. Now, Ghana won a case over a Chinese company, but now a new government has come and is saying that no, the Chinese were right, and they are going to be given some money. There's a lot of confusion, and all we want is some addressing of issues. Kelly GVG was just the tip of the iceberg. It looks to me that the Ministry of Communication must be doing someone else's bidding in order to enter into all these kinds of contract. As you know, 75 million cedis has accrued on the Kelly GVG deal. There's not a single CD addition to the revenue that Kelly GVG was supposed to come and generate for us. But it's accruing 75 million cedis by the end of the month. But why? Now the Minister of Finance, who also signed and blessed this project, is asking people to become like military people and militia people, looking for people to pay more taxes.
But you think there's more funds even in there and that they should not bother people?
Yeah, but you have $178 million. That's close to 600 million US dollars. Actually, 800 million US dollars, 800 million Ghana cedis. You are giving freely for no work done. Meanwhile, you are harassing people that they haven't paid taxes.
His Excellency the President has gone to China. There's been several negotiations, and probably this could have been one of them. As a sovereign state and a government, they reserve the right to choose who they believe could execute this project and execute it in the right manner that would bring benefits to the Ghanaian people.
Well, first of all, they are actually dealing with China at cross purposes, dealing with the Ghanaians at cross purposes. Ghanaians are not aware that they are acting in the interest of Ghana, not at all. First of all, there's been a process. You've only come to truncate the process because they've thrown freebies at you. Then again, we have to make the point. China is not the problem. In all of this, China has never been the problem. It's our sloppiness, our laziness, our fanciful thinking that once they throw freebies at us, we should give our birthrights to them. And I think that is the depressing examples we are learning across the continent. In Zambia and outside of Africa, there's Sri Lanka, which has mortgaged all its port infrastructure to the Chinese because they are soiled, they're mired in debt. I think it is important that we need to understand the Chinese strategy. We think the Chinese strategy here is using its soft power in order to get our hard physical minerals. But that's the point. What is your strategy? To be dancing and be happy that they're giving you satellite TV?
Frankly, no, I'm not sure that is government strategy, but I'll hold it up here because my colleague back there who in the studios would want to cross over to the main ceremony and also get you updates of exactly what is happening there indeed from the Coconut Grove Hotel. My name is Kweku Timen. I've been interacting with the president of Imani, Franklin Cudjoe. We'll hold on a little bit. Maybe there might be some other issues to discuss, but for now, we'll want to give it back to you in the studio.